television every 3 years, and it's them just floating in, because he floated in water for like 5 years too, right?
Something like
A few
that.
days, yeah.
He had to wear
He's got nothing on
special
David
types of
Copperfield,
gloves
though.
because his skin was just going to
Right,
slide
right.
off. I was like, this is not a trick. I don't get this.
Yeah, like David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear, didn't he? Or
Yeah.
was it like Buckingham Palace?
It's still not back.
He made.
We don't know where it went. It's just gone. Let's take a call from Poopy. Poopy Butthole, what's going on, Poopy?
Poopy butt.
Oh, hey guys.
How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Better now that I'm hanging out with you guys. Listen, you guys got to make a song, put it together. Tell Anthony to put together lyrics to rewrite that Imagine song, and we'll just have people singing like imagine all the people getting bolted in their homes, something like that, something funny.
You know, somebody did. Mike, was you just? No, I just saw it. Somebody else did a Pressure. They redid Pressure. What was it? George Michaels? Who did it?
George
Under
Michael.
Pressure?
Under Pressure?
David Bowie and Queen.
David Bowie and Queen? Oh, okay. Whatever. Either way, somebody did an entirely customized song for this virus thing too.
Oh no, they did it with the Sharona. I know Styx did it with the Sharona, but he changed it to Corona, and he changed up some words. No, but I mean like to make fun of these celebrities because they're all singing this communist song, and they think they're like calming people down with it or something.
Oh,
it's
God.
so funny.
Yeah, no, that's the worst. That's the worst thing about it. That they thought, oh, this people will like this.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You know what I think is happening? I think a lot of them are going through adrenochrome withdrawal, and they can't get any more, and they're taking like opioids to kind of like to calm the withdrawal down, and that's why they're acting all crazy like this. And the other thing that makes sense is that I seen some of the anons over there in the Q world. They were posting the fact that they found websites where it said that there was synthetic adrenochrome that was being produced in Wuhan, and if their like synthetic supply got spiked with this virus, and that's why like a lot of them are getting it, because it doesn't make sense. Like out of the people that got it, such a small percentage of the population of the planet got it, and then all of these celebrities somehow have it. It's either that got spiked, or there was a plan where this thing was supposed to be so much bigger, and these guys have the script. I forgot who said it. Somebody on your show, Frank, said that these guys are still going by the script, but it got prevented where we're supposed to be so much worse, and it's not.
Not only that, but now we're getting. There's been a few things that circulated today, and I have them bookmarked to put them into some of next week's shows. But this, Abe is trying to get in on here, but he's having microphone problems. He said he loves the spiked adrenochrome theories, as it's more compelling than you would ever think.
Yeah,
I want to hear
for
about
sure.
it.
Yeah.
I definitely want to hear about it. But what Poopy brings up reminds me of this thing that I've been reading more than once now from a few different sources, that the WHO, those tests that supposedly Donald Trump said no thanks, we'll make our own.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says he didn't even take the test from the WHO. Apparently, these tests that the WHO the WHO was providing people had 50 to 80% false positive rates.
Right.
So can you imagine all the people who were probably positive COVID and they weren't?
Yeah, and going back to the spiked adrenochrome idea, you got to figure if the source of adrenochrome, was from humans, but you can make it synthetically, and you look back at some of the things that have gone on where would this be done in a mass amount to get it directly from a human, right? So you have the John of God thing, which was doing
Baby
farming,
farms.
an actual baby farm, right? You had Epstein with whatever he was into out in Arizona, not just the Epstein Island where they would go as their playground.
He was doing DNA seeding too.
But I think the bigger part of the Epstein deal is those other properties that they had over there. Nexium, as well, is another part of this network of things. So, if you look at it in that context where the lines were cut, right? And if this is a highly addictive substance that is supposed to, make you younger, and also give you like a DMT, like a thing where you think, or where you are, the veil thins or whatever, and they can manufacture it. I think it's just, I was reading about it, like those EpiPens. Remember there was like a big thing with the EpiPen where like you just leave it out with oxygen and it oxidizes and it changes color and it turns to adrenochrome.
I remember this.
Yeah, so so it just turns into that, but it's the
I
synthetic
remember
version.
thinking about it though.
Right, so it's like, okay, and I guess, like anything, you would think that, the source is probably more potent and more, and if they're extracting it from the pineal gland, they're getting that DMT-like thing, and I don't know if it translates to the same high or same type of effect. So if they're trying to get, this thing, and I saw where it's supposedly being manufactured in Wuhan, it kind of leads credence where they would leave some type of, okay, this is what you guys want, here it is. And you leave some type of genetic tell on there where you could tell who was taking that, or you can put something in there to, self-destruct.
Well, I just know that I'm very happy about what's happening right now. Like I didn't want anybody to get hurt or anything, but I'm a big believer in experiences and learning. Like I think our lifetimes are for learning. It's to experience. I told you guys before, I believe in reincarnation, and I feel like I would rather live in this time right now and experience this to see how humanity goes through this shutdown of everything than to live at maybe like a boring decade or something where like nothing happens. You just go to work and that's it.
Everybody's
No, you don't have to go to work anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Money's not going to mean anything. It's what I was telling Frank before today, that like with the way things are going with this shutdown, this hit me like professionally like a lot, right? But I was like, but you know what? But money doesn't mean anything anymore now, so no big deal.
Exactly. We're gonna have a whole new monetary system, I believe, because I don't think we're gonna even have things like the stock market anymore. But listen,
I don't think we're gonna have the Fed after this.
We gotta look out for these bad actors, man. I'm starting to see a few of them. Okay, my one question is this: this guy Newsom comes out and says something ridiculous, like he expects 25 million people in California to contract the virus, and with a 3% die-off rate, he expects like 500,000 to 1 million people to die. Okay, now California has around 50 million people, I think. We have South Korea, who just went through a much longer period already. Their population is 51 million, and they went through this thing where they had 9,000 infections and 100 deaths, and it just stopped. So what are these people thinking, or why are they doing this, where they're just scaring people when they don't know what they're talking about?
I don't know, and I also see mixed things. I know I read it on some left wing papers like Bloomberg, and I saw a couple elsewhere. Mirroring it about even in Italy, that like over 95% of all of the deaths out there have been with people with anywhere from 1 to 3 pre-existing conditions and older. And
the other thing is also in Italy, there's a much older population, right? Mm-hmm. And they're very like touchy with each other. The 2 kisses all the time, like they're very close.
No, you should also look into what Tracy did. Tracy just did a really big dive into the story of what's going on out there in Italy, and pretty much when it comes down to Italy and China, if you want, it's almost like an inverse situation. This is just a nutshell, the too long didn't read version of her story. But what I took away from it is Italy's situation. We sold out American citizens to China by pushing away American manufacturers and American inventors and all that stuff into China. Italy actually brought China into their country a lot. I mean, we have that here too, but it's really significant where the whole Made in Italy brand, how that went. So we have very, very similar things going on there, and that's why Italy was also hit so hard. It is the largest population of Chinese in Europe live in Italy.
Well, here's the thing, actually, and I retweeted this guy about maybe like 10 days ago, and tell me if Tracy mentioned this, but he said that because of all the sell-offs of like a few fashion companies in northern Italy, recently within the past 3 months or 6 months, they literally had 100,000 people from Wuhan. It said specifically from Wuhan that migrated into Italy to work these factories and everything.
That's
I
what
haven't
she
seen
talks
this
about.
blown up.
That's what
What's
she's talking about. She said that is pretty, and these deals that were made pretty much took the place of that whole made in Italy brand there. And obviously, when I go back, I don't think I have to explain myself to this audience per se, but just to reiterate or accentuate here, when I say that largest grouping of Chinese, I'm talking mostly like what you're saying, business and other interests, and they're constantly flying in and out from China. So you're talking for months, this thing, whatever the hell it was, however it started and who planted it and what the motives were, it was getting passed around for months, which is why another thing that makes me feel a little bit I don't know what to think about these numbers coming in, these numbers being projected and tracked here in the U.S. If we're already a couple of months down the road from when it really made landfall here, are we really watching the decline, or are actually we watching the slowing of it? I don't know.
And the other thing is, like, we're now on the verge of, they're saying that they might have a vaccine ready. They said the Russians decoded the genome, so they know exactly how this thing is built. And then we have even Trump coming out and saying there's a cure. So I looked into this chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine thing. So what it is chloroquine is this, it's called a isopore for zinc. Okay, and what it does is it opens up the cell membrane and lets the zinc in. So basically you have to take it together. You take the chloroquine and zinc. And the zinc, what it does is it resets your RNA. It doesn't let the virus reproduce itself the right way and essentially kills it off. And this is already in the media. I have a good friend of mine is a nurse, so I'm always like trying to ask her, has she tried these things? But they're just overwhelmed right now. And the other thing is now you can also use something else instead of this chloroquine, because chloroquine is this medication. It's made for malaria. It's prescription only. But also green tea works. Well, green tea works the same way.
Poopy.
Yeah.
I read about all the. And dude, thank you for the call. It's good to have you on. I have those two things that were being talked about. I don't know if they are. I hear that the side effects of those two drugs are horrific, like any other drug. But I've actually seen even more interesting things about heat therapy and
I've seen
saunas.
Absinthe. Absinthe as well. Wormwood, which is interesting because that's been mentioned. Wormwood's even mentioned in the Bible.
Yeah. Ooh, let me take one more. 413, you're on the air. What's up?
What's going